No, Mark, I would actually say that the virus is just coronavirus. We've had it for a while. Virus is mutated, man. And the lethality of it, it may be new. Like, new strains are actually always more lethal, but I think that we have treatments for viruses, such as the coronaviruses, such as the SARS virus, such as the MARS virus that happened, or MERS virus that happened. This is just a new strain. Doesn't have to be manufactured to hurt people. That's what viruses do. They reproduce and cause issues. Hell, some people say that parts of our cells were primitive viruses that we actually incorporated. Science and shit, right? But let's get into the game. And speaking of conspiracy theories, uh interesting segue. Let's bring up let's turn that off. Sorry. Let's bring up this guy. This is a call for uprising. Yeah. Yeah. Now, what's actually been very interesting, especially with what recently happened with the bill for the economic stimulus, we we saw some things that he may not like out of that bill if you took the time to go through the overview. It's great that we're getting $1,200. Now, should have been double that and fuck corporations. Fuck Boeing. Look. Here's the thing. The deals that were made to get the $1,200 shows that corporations have more influence. I'm not gonna say control, but influence over our politicians through bribes. I mean, legalized bribes. I mean, campaign donations than what they should have. But we're going to actually go through and see what this says. So here we go. This is actually pretty, like, the graphics and the art, regardless of what it said, it's not that bad. But, yeah. So here's my thing with this whole Hollywood is actually controlling things. I don't get the whole thing of Hollywood is controlling the world, and it's just like Hollywood has a big ass megaphone. I will give you that. But the only real power they have is their big ass megaphone and their capability of shaming people. I mean, like, seriously. What's funny is you actually see people say that, they call people on the left snowflakes and, virtue signaling. Can't speak. But it only makes you feel bad and hurts your fifi. Let's see. It only feels bad and hurts your fifi if it's... There we go. You should be able to hear it now. It only is bad and hurts your fifi if it's making you feel bad is a bad thing. I mean, I guess I can say if somebody guilts you and shames you into something, and you feel bad about it, doesn't that make you like socially weak? I'm just saying, I'm like that. That just seems to me that's what a problem is. It's like, oh, they shamed me and it made me feel bad. Like, I don't know. It's just like if somebody says something that I don't like, I'm not okay. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I mean, like, if it ostracized me for my belief, oh well. Like, I'm not going to be shamed into doing something or feeling some way if I truly don't believe it. But a lot of these people who say that it's, I don't know, they feel that guys actually, or people on the right, left actually, shame or guilt them. It's just like, for what? Like, trying to assert what they believe is humanity? I don't know. But let's continue.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. For the first time in a very long time, I actually witnessed one of these State of the Union addresses. And boy, did it not disappoint. I think I need to watch these things more often. It is one of the funniest forms of comedy I think I've ever seen. It's one of the funniest shows I've ever seen in my life. I mean, you want to talk about a legitimate circus? She did.
Wait.
Sure did.
Ah, yes. Miss Slay Queen Nancy Pelosi tearing up the speech. It was a stupid gesture of power. A good gesture of power is impeaching the motherfucker and actually saying that he's clearly was bribed because of fucking the way that he broke the law. Bribery or coercion is a way of breaking the law, but she didn't want to do the shit. And she had egg on her face because she was salty that she tried to flex her fucking power and it backfired because she was milquetoast about it, because that's all her donors let her have. But let's continue.
A stunning moment here at the end of the president's speech. Nancy Pelosi tearing up what appeared to be a copy of the president's speech.
Brightest young circus stars from around the world. Marvelous.
Small little aside note, I actually did used to go to the Ringling Brothers. Took my kid when it was still here, but yeah, that was a circus. It was a performance. Move on.
These extraordinary children in a once-in-their-lifetime performance as they join all the fun, the thrill, the excitement of the greatest show on earth. Bring your kids to see our kids at Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus.
We literally had a show that resembled a wrestling event, or WrestleMania, from USA chants across the board. USA, USA.
It's kind of ironic because Trump participated in the WWE or back when it was a WWF. That is super ironic. But let's continue. And literally, he's making fun of the wrong fucking thing. It wasn't that they were saying USA because of, I don't know, she turned up the speech. It's this blind patriotism that a lot of people actually follow because you need to support the troops. And with supporting the troops, you support the stupid decisions that we make for war. And you have to show this blind loyalty, unquestioned patriotism instead of just, not treating troops like shit after we finish, like, destroying their mind and their body. I mean, like, that's an even better way of respecting the troops, right?
Playing with a full deck.
destroy mission.
I mean, like, for real, is like, this is all it's gonna be? Like, come on, man. Like, come up with something. Like, I think you did this to pat the fucking runtime of the video. Like, of course, we know the magic 10 minutes and 1 second. But let's continue.
To some of the funniest speeches, or just funniest things mentioned of what's the future holds for America, to the obvious charade of a show with this Nancy Pelosi character, and because that's what they are, they're characters. They're characters in a show that people think is real reality TV. This is as real as the Kardashians, folks.
No, I understand the cynicism. These people actually believe that they are unbiased to the deference of power or money. The Kardashians, they know they're actors. A lot of these people are, again, we have to look at the hapless razor, never to attribute to malice what can easily be attributed to stupidity or fear. But I'm going to let him go along with this.
Watching that show. Oh, well, that's a real story. The Kardashians are going down to a homeless shelter and they're giving their money away. That's all scripted television. Just like this is scripted television. To persuade and manipulate the audience into division, into a left and right. That's why half the room stands up when Trump says something and the other half sits down. When Trump says he's pro Second Amendment, they stand up. The other side sits down. They zoom in on the disgusted faces of the Democrats.
I mean, like, he's right. There is all political theater. And we are, as a nation, are influenced. I wouldn't say tricked, but influenced to think that there is no different. There is this stark difference in between the two gulps. One says, hey, let's crush people with undue burdens or things that they can never escape for to keep them in line. And the other says, yeah, but they shouldn't be healthy as well, so fuck them even more. You're like, if you look on the political spectrum, a lot of the people who are in Congress are generally conservative to authoritarian or plutitarians. But let's continue.
And the happy faces of the Republicans while Nancy Pelosi doesn't stand at all behind them. And you get this whole charade in the beginning where Trump hands her his script and he doesn't shake her hand. And then at the end she rips the papers and oh, the world's gonna end, folks. Papergate. She ripped up the papers in a sign of she's not standing for it, this disrespect, and she's not rooting for this president. And then you get all these zombies, right? Because this is how social engineering works. You get them all over Twitter tweeting about it. Look at the top tweets. As of, today, this afternoon, Nancy Pelosi rocks.
I mean, like, he says all this, but before the advent of technology, the way we have it now, we kind of had the Bible. I mean, like, let's come on now. Like, let's be honest. You are just mad because of the social engineering that you want to go back to that people have grown past. And it's just like, come on now, man. It is not even, like, what did they say with the book propaganda? What everybody else does is propaganda. What we do is public relations. You literally had a fucking 20 seconds short about how, we need, like, showing, like, Jesus Christ, the superstar, and all this other good bullshit. You want to go to social conditioning that way versus people being more open and free and actually learning how to deal with problems in society, both individually and collectively. But hey, let's continue.
Nancy the Ripper. Cool.
Oh, by the way, we also want to make sure that we do address the fact that he kind of didn't address the fact that Trump refused to shake her hand. Like, he literally, she went to go shake his hand and he turned around like, bitch, please. And in the end, she had to, step up her own game and seem all tough and mean by saying, oh yeah, I'm gonna rip up your fucking speech. It's political theater. That's what politics are. Like, and to be honest with you, when you have no substance, that's all you have. Not that they're being controlled. Not that they are is some evil cabal. It's that they don't have much substance between them. Just power mind, power precious. But let's continue.
And all these zombies sitting there going, we got to impeach this guy. Coming up next, Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel. And let them tell you, because they're sitting there live in the studio waiting for this because they want to be able to freshly manipulate you with everything that's discussed during this charade. So, the commentators just cannot believe that she ripped a piece of paper. How people still think this is a republic is beyond me.
It is a republic, you motherfucker. It's the style of government we have. It is a republic. Now, you may not like your representatives, but it is still a fucking republic, you idiot.
Now, if you're new to my channel and you think that I'm being anti-Trump, I'm not anti-Trump. I'm anti-left and I'm anti-right. I'm anti all of it because none of it's real. This is not a republic. This is a science experiment. That's what...
This is where the ancient aliens came in and controlled people through the lizard man. Like, yeah, he has, and I think a Call For An Uprising has actually been a proponent of the flat Earth. Like, he said something about being a flat earther before. So I don't know.
That's what we live in, a science experiment. These people work together to manipulate, to persuade, and to round you up emotionally through mind control to lead you where they want to lead you, right?
Again, we're like, seriously, does he not see the strings of, I don't know, organized religion? And I'm pretty sure he's going to say, well, I'm not for the current organized religion. Like, but dude, my dude, Mr. Uprising, I'm going to call it. You want people to return to some traditional family role bullshit where a certain type of people have authority or it's like a sense of normalcy. And I'm sorry, my dude. It's just like, let's let you continue.
The Hegelian dialect, problem, reaction, solution. I mean, some of the stuff that went on, you could tell some of these people were actors in the crowd, playing roles. The kids didn't even look like they knew who their parents were.
Yes. We're going to get a kid and fake like that they don't know who their parent is. Or maybe because they're on fucking national TV, they're a little shocked, a little, don't know how to perceive the actual way of being, seeming photogenic. But I don't know.
Or the scary part is you only can imagine what the events that are occurring after this out there in DC, and you know what I'm talking about. But
why would you randomly throw up a picture of the Martian? Like, for real? Like, do you really think that aliens are like? Oh my god! Like, really? Let's continue.
But I think maybe the funniest part was hearing Trump talk about going back to the moon, because boy, It's supposedly it's only been, what, 50 years, 60 years since we've gone to...
What the fuck supposedly supposed to mean? The reason why we haven't went to the moon, the reason why we actually need new technology, because a lot of the shit that we used to go to the moon, my dude, was analog shit. Magnetic tapes. Shit like that. Yes, we were able to communicate with the shuttle from Earth because we did radio transmission. Most of our shit is digital and they get fucked up with radiation. That's what the radiation belts around the Earth. That's why they're fucking scared to put astronauts around that motherfucker. There is a fucking mirror on the moon that if you can actually find it, they can actually calculate. And that's how they calculated how far the moon is going, because they took a mirror and they said, hey, let's shine a fucking laser on it and see how far the moon is moving back from us yearly or receding yearly.
to the moon and never went back one time, and you constantly get people talking about how the moon landing is fake, and people go, you're crazy. Well, why would they never go back? Oh, there's no reason to go back. And they talk about going to Mars. I mean, this is one of the funniest things I think I've ever...
Okay, so, no lie. Dude, they've been talking about going back to the moon for the last 15 years now. But throughout the hubris of science, because science is a little bit hubris, it does carry some hubris, where they think, well, we learned everything we can, to motherfucking science fictions that writers have actually came up and said, well, what if this happened? What if that has happened? And what if this happened? And with the rovers that they did send to Mars, they realized maybe it's some shit that we won't know. Let's practice on a fucking location that's 3 days away versus something that can be as much as 3 years away. So, yeah. Baby steps. Baby steps, motherfucker. Baby steps.
Ever heard a president say.
In reaffirming our heritage as a free nation, we must remember that America has always been a frontier nation. Now we must embrace the next frontier. America's manifest destiny in the stars. I am asking Congress to fully fund the Artemis program to ensure that the next man and the first woman on the moon will be American astronauts, using this as a launching pad to ensure that America is the first nation to plant its flag on Mars.
Okay, so again, this is actually something that is not a bad thing to actually do. However, I don't want the first nation to Mars actually be sponsored by fucking Boeing if they fucking survive. Or, you know, Elon Musk, who isn't really a good engineer. He just bankroll shit. The thing about it is, a lot of the things that we take for granted, say like things like the fucking internet, were made without trying to incur profit on it. And that was the only way we could make a lot of shit, where the profit motive was taken out. And if that means how we get to fucking Mars and eventually the stars, ironic that I'm playing this game, it's actually fucking fun. And, you know, a lot of scientific studies have actually had to either play nice with the military to actually get invented, or fucking shit, fuck you, dude. I'm sorry, guys. Or, you know, no, because a lot of the profit shit, even your smartphone, the government actually still developed a lot of that shit without a profit motive, and the only thing private companies have actually done is just make it relatively smaller because the government was already making the shit smaller. But let's continue.
So they call a trainer a sneaker, a jumper a sweater, and a few minutes a quibby?
Skip that shit.
I don't know, they might... The first people to stick the flag in Mars. I don't know. I think people have actually walked out in the desert in Arizona where they'll probably film and stage this whole Mars landing in due time.
And this is what kind of kills me about a lot of the people who think that the moon landing was fake. It would have took more effort to actually fake the moon landing than it would have, like, to get all that shit together and where it can be still seen, now with the technology we have now, and we can actually spot a fake. It would have taken a lot more. I don't know, maybe because I have an understanding of science, it would have took a lot more to actually fake that moon landing than what a lot of these people actually think it would have. Like, the effort it would have taken, they could have actually did 4 moon landings. Or, 7, I believe, with trying to fake even half of one. But let's continue.
But you've got to just be kidding me. I mean, there's a better chance of sticking a flag on your anus, your own personal anus, than there is of anyone sticking a flag on Mars. So they just push this nonsense with, they want you to believe that there's life on other planets. I mean, it's the biggest I
mean, like, people like this, I don't get, because they simultaneously think that technology is awesome and wonderful, but also that it's shit. Like, I don't get that whole concept of it. Like, which one is it? You got to pick a lane, dog. Is the technology really that bad or really that good? But let's continue.
Ever. Yet they've never even gone back to the moon. But let's get back to the point at hand here, right? Because this is
I mean, like, the Chinese have actually not physically gone to the moon, but they landed their shuttle, and judging by the landed an unmanned probe, but judging by what is it, Chang'e, the goddess of the moon, like, literally. And I don't think that the Chinese are our fucking allies at all, so they wouldn't lie from us. As a matter of fact, it would actually be more beneficial for them to say, America didn't go to the moon. But let's continue.
Perfect way to use the divide and conquer, these whatever you want to call these shows, right? This Ringling Brothers, Barnum and Bailey circus act, right? Because you got the one woman behind him, the one who's trying to impeach him. She won't stand up. He won't shake her hand, right? You get all the zombies standing up on one side, the other side, because they're liberal, they won't applaud, right? People don't realize that they're being put inside of this box of a left and a right to keep us divided, when in reality we should all be united. We should be united against the Federal Reserve. We should be united against these big banks who just try to get you in debt and enslaved. We should be
Welcome to the movement, comrade. Like, for real. Like, if you want to have a populist uprising where we all say, fuck you and your being rich and powerful, let's actually make things more equitable for people, dude, I'm with you.
united against how they just raise taxes overnight without even telling you about it, how we just let them keep taking.
They actually don't raise taxes overnight without telling you about it. Fuck. Like, that's not the case. Like, they actually have, fucking CNN, C-SPAN, and just because you're not paying attention doesn't mean that no one's not telling you about it. But let's continue.
Money from us, taxing us on this, taxing us on that. Now they want to tax us to breathe air, which is why they have this whole global warming nonsense. They just want to take everything that you have.
Multinational corporations, he's not technically wrong. They want to actually get as much profit as they can from you. And there is not a tax for you to breathe air. I'm sorry, guy. It's not. Now, is it a tax for you to live in a nation with all the benefits and rights and privileges of that nation? Of course there is. That's called living in a country. This freedom that you want so much, it requires it has a requirement. But let's continue.
And make you feel, because the more you feel in debt, the more you feel enslaved, the more beaten down and less free you feel. That's how this mind control trap works. When in reality, it's really just a trust system anyway when they give you a credit card and you don't pay it off. Ooh.
Yeah. Like, all currency has been that. Even the vaunted gold standard, it has always been a trust system. You can't eat gold. You can't drink gold. It's just a standard of value. But let's continue.
Oh, but your credit score. It's all nonsense. It's all a charade to keep you distracted from all the real things that are going on.
Yeah, of course. Please enlighten us on the real things that's going on. Please, give us an example.
And to keep us divided amongst one another, right? It's like nothing more than a wrestling event with the good guy and the bad guy. And you pick your side, who you're rooting for, as these people chant USA. I mean, these are all politicians that are in here.
So, here's the thing, guy. You didn't give us an example. All you used to say, well, they're just this, they're just that. Here's the thing. It's your government. You actually have a say-so in electing these motherfuckers. You have a responsibility. If you really think, like I think, that we need to fucking do more about how we elect politicians and fuck, they're scanning me. If you like I am and think that, hey, maybe politicians should actually answer for different things that they do and their financing and things of that nature, cool. I'm with you, dog. I am fucking with you. But don't just sit back and say it's a conspiracy and, well, they're just mean and they just want to control you. Don't do that, man. Like, seriously. You're giving away your power. But let's continue.
They're not buying and selling tickets for this like it's WrestleMania outside. We're like, hey, I got a ticket, nosebleeds. Who wants to come in? State of the Union. These are, all members of the Senate, the cabinet, all, and they're all obviously together. They're all in the same secret societies. They all get the agenda here to round up the goyim, which is us, the cattle, to manipulate us, to persuade us, to beat us down, and to make us think that this is a free republic when it's not. When there is an election, when there's not, it's a selection. The president's already been selected. Just like this impeachment thing is nothing but...
Then fucking do something about it. Go out there and vote. Push for more laws and regulations to give more people the power to vote. Even if you don't like them. I don't know. Was there a candidate who actually said that maybe we should have voting on weekends or 3-day weekends to actually reflect that, oh yeah, Bernie Sanders, who actually said we should actually stick more together and we should take money out of politics. But he's probably a commie to you. Fuck it.
But a charade, like I said. Keep everybody all worn down and into it, thinking it's real, and then all people are going to be pissed off when he doesn't get impeached. And then what are people going to do when he gets re-elected? Oh, there's going to be an uproar. Then you're going to suddenly see the predictive programming from films like The Purge and these other movies that show, people rioting in the streets and fighting amongst one another. This is how they keep you distracted from them, because if the American people knew who these people were, what these people do,
The Purge isn't exactly literally it's not predictive programming. It's not that. quite literally, it's something that we have taken in the past, riots over shit, and the original was a condemnation over the fact that motherfucking rich people use their wealth, and people who aren't super rich but just rich enough to actually get away with, I don't know, being dominant over other people just enough to hoard their wealth and power to make themselves feel better about, their status while everybody else is under them. That's what the Purge was about, man. It was a condemnation on how people treat people who they perceive to be under them.
What their end game is, what the end goal is, the things that they do to our bodies, the diseases that they create. From corona all the way down to Lyme's disease, to having cures for cancer and telling you that they don't, to putting Roundup in...
Again, dude, there are cures for some cancers. The thing about it is, cancer isn't just one thing, though, man. It's not just one type of cancer. Did you know that there's a cancer that destroys your immune system? Or not destroys it. It causes your immune system to actually go overboard and attack its own cells. Leukemia is considered a cancer, but it's definitely different than a malignant tumor. Like, for real. But let's continue. Good evening, man.
To putting fluoride in your water. And then people wonder where all these diseases come from. They wonder why fertility rates are in the toilet. All this stuff. Nobody has a clue.
You should be able to hit a video now.
Let alone the stuff that happens to children and the black magic rituals that their hero Aleister Crowley performs that they all practice still to this.
Black magic rituals? Like, I didn't know that there was magic. Can I use gray magic or red magic? Like Final Fantasy. Can I use a mixture of both light and dark magic? Can I be a gray mage? Is that like a gray Jedi? Let's continue.
Day underneath the White House or in certain rooms in the White House and in the Senate. And Lord only knows what's underneath that room where they perform the State of the Union address. I don't even want to know.
Here's the idea. Why don't you try to find out? Like, go into the building plans and say, oh, but then you're going to say, no, obviously they're not going to put it in the building plans, right? It's that whole thing of not being able to falsify this shit. Like, for real? For real.
No. We see all these kids with blonde hair and blue eyes. If the people knew, then the people would turn their...
Wait, what? What? Like, oh my god, did he just say we see all these kids with blonde hair and blue eyes? Does he not understand how genetics works and how people can actually dye their hair? Like, does he not understand that shit?
Attention to them, because guess what? There's more of us than there are of them. But instead, that's why it's so important for them to keep the illusion of freedom, so that people don't think that we're slaves. Tell us that we're the best. America's the best. You could become anything you want. We heard that narrative in Trump's speech. They always say that, right? America, you could become whoever, whatever you want. Yeah, right. Unless you're a part of the only way that's happening is if you start off as a Mason and become a part of a secret society and go through the levels. And I mean legitimately go through the rankings.
Like, is that... Hold on. It's bitter. Like, literally, this dude sounds bitter as hell. But let's continue.
And climb your way up. Otherwise, good luck. Yeah, me and you could become the next president. And what's the saying from Wayne's World?
If we do free and public funded elections, of course. Of course. The fact is, a lot of these people actually have money behind them and status that they get away with some of the same bullshit for generations of a family. But let's continue.
Monkeys might fly out of my ass. I mean, that's really the truth. So the circus, the charade, it's so funny to watch the reaction to this stuff. Like, if you go to Twitter and you just watch the things that are trending, and then you put on these talking heads on TV, these robotic zombies, you know, who play people's emotions. You go to one channel, pro-Trump, the other channel, anti-Trump, right? And they're, one channel, this guy's not even a president. The other channel, look at these liberals. They won't even stand and applaud their president. It's a total joke. Don't be manipulated and persuaded into their game. I thank you for listening to today's show.
Wait, what's the problem? What are they trying to hide? Like, dude, come on. What are they trying to hide? Like, for real? I was waiting. You had me waiting on blue balls on what they're trying to hide, man. God damn. Did I miss it? Is it me? Did I miss it like I'm missing this fucking alien spaceship? But let's continue.
If you watch this charade, let me know what you think in the comment section below. God bless all of you and your families.
See, when you actually say God bless, like, hold on.
Protein, muscles, progress.
When you actually say God bless like that, it kind of leads me to think that you just want to return back to Christianity, where it's just like, oh, God says this, and oh, God says that, and like, dude, it just seems as if you have this thing where you just want to play on the rules that you originally had that makes you feel better. And I'm not gonna say it's like, I'm not gonna say it's a thing where it's, I don't know how to best say it. It's not a specific gender. It's not a specific. It was just who was on top, and you just want to go to a time where, you know, your specific comfortability or something that you may not have had control of put you on top, and it's just like, dude, come on now. Wouldn't you want to live in a more free society where people can actually believe and do what they want instead of actually going back to a place where it's forced? And I know it seems like a weird switch or weird transition, but a lot of his problem is, I don't like the direction society is going, where things are weird and different, and it's just like, I didn't hear, ironically enough, any calls for uprising. I just heard that, well, we don't really have any power, and these people say that we can vote, but it's not really a vote, and, well, give up your power and give up what you really want to do, and maybe they can give us something later on. Once all of the, I don't know, once we fight back, but we're not going to really fight back because they're not going to let us. And this is one of the reasons why I want to touch on this today. The fact that we see when workers stand together, all this, and we're standing together by staying at home. We're trying to keep our healthcare system from being overwhelmed by actually all staying at home. But this whole thing of just like the world can actually run with less people on the bottom. Everybody who says that should actually understand, should point back to this, where there are 90% of the world, or, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's so many people that are sitting at home, and the economy is grinding to the halt. The rich are fucking losing their mind because their money is going down the fucking toilet because everything is tied to the fucking stock market. They don't want a population control. They don't want a lower birth rate. That's the last fucking thing they want. They want you to be happy, content, and fuck like rabbits so they can actually replace everybody. Because if you work them like if you work them so bad that they're passed out dead from all the hard work you do, and they don't reproduce, then we have a situation. And it is fucking unbelievable. It's unbelievable that you see this shit where these people think that they really want to cut down on the population. Or they're really lying to you to control you. Motherfucker, they don't care about controlling you if they can get your money. That's one of the things that you can actually have. You can look at the liberals and actually say that a lot of the liberals, they'll give you the useless platitudes. Oh, we're going to respect your pronouns. Oh, we're going to respect this right for you to get married. But you're not making it fiscally able for me to actually start a fucking family. You gave me this one breadcrumbs off of your fucking table instead of giving me a fucking steak. By acknowledging the pronoun. By wearing a pink pussy hat or saying I stand with her. Versus, hey, let's do meaningful change to make it sure that if somebody wants to stay in if somebody wants to have financial security where they don't have to worry about their children or able to spend more time with their kids, they can have the financial freedom to actually have that as something that they can rally around versus just saying, we respect women, we believe them. Shit, believe me by saying that I'm fucking tired. Believe me by saying that I need more vacation. Believe everybody by saying that. Not some weak way of just saying, oh, we recognize your feelings. But anyway, guys, I'm trying to shoot this motherfucker down. What are your thoughts about this? As with always, I'm going to clip this out so you guys can actually like, subscribe, and share the video. And yeah, just tell me what you think. And time to go to the next fucking video. And I gotta figure out what it's gonna be.